Okay, friends, welcome to Let's Find Out About It. We're going to do something really, really interesting today. And the first thing that we're going to do is take a look at this page in the book. I remember they were watering their garden.
They're making a garden.
Why are they watering?
So it can grow.
It needs water so it can grow. You're right. Plants need water just like people do so that they can grow and so they can live. What happens when you don't have anything to drink?
You get thirsty.
Yeah, you get really thirsty. And that's what happens with the plants. If they don't have water, they can't grow.
Yeah, me too.
And what else? We get thirsty, but we also get hungry, right?
That's why we eat snack.
That's why you eat snack. What do you do if you get hungry?
Your stomach
Tell mommy. Your stomach growls. You eat snack in the classroom, you eat, yeah. We eat food, right? We need food and water so that we can grow, and so do plants. And plants eat a special kind of food. It's called nutrients. Nutrients. Can you say that word with me? It's kind of funny. Nutrients. Nutrients. Yeah, and there's nutrients in our food too. But we call plants food nutrients, and they get it from the sun, and they get it from water.
Is it like how puppies have food?
It is like how puppies have food. Plants are living just like puppies. We're all living. Okay? And I want to show you, remember this was our garden in our book, right? Remember how that looks? I'm going to show you something different. I want to look at this kind of a plant. This is a beach plant.
That's not a garden.
Yeah.
It isn't a garden, but it's a plant, right? And it's
a beach.
It's growing on a beach. What do you notice about the soil?
It's not soil.
What is it?
It's sand.
It's sand, like at the sandbox.
Sand. You're right, like at the sandbox. These kinds of plants can grow in sand. And look, this one is too, right?
There's water.
Yeah, we see it's the beach because we see sand, and we see a plant growing right out of the sand. It's very different from the garden in our book, right? There wasn't sand in the garden
There's
in
no
our
vegetables.
book. And there aren't any vegetables, no. This is really different. Sand is really dry. It has really loose particles. I'll show you in a minute. What about water?
It's dry.
If it's dry, the plants that grow in sand actually don't need very much water.
It's close by.
It is close by, the water. We'll talk about that in a minute. And you know what? There's a special kind of plant that needs very little water. Anybody know what that kind of plant is?
I don't like it.
Yeah, they're prickly. They're pokey, right? It's called a cactus. And these grow in the desert. And look, what kind of soil do they have?
Beach soil.
Sand, right? It's sand. So, I brought some sand for us to look at. But, hold on one second for me, friends. In a minute, we're all going to get to touch it, but right now I need you to use your eyes. Can everyone use your eyes for me? And tell me about what you see? So, if I pick the sand up, and I let it go down through my fingers, what do you see?
There's a lot.
It goes down, it falls right between my fingers.
There's smoke.
Right? Oh, it's so fine and so little that it goes up into the air, right? And it creates what looks like smoke.
That's sand?
This is sand. I noticed that there's a lot of little tiny particles or pieces of sand.
They're rocks.
There are some rocks. This is real sand. And sometimes it has rocks in it. You know, if you go
More
to the
smoke,
beach,
more smoke, more smoke.
it is. It's so much,
Call the fire
such
Yeah.
little particles that it's going up in the air. But it goes between my fingers really easy, right?
Can we try?
When I'm done talking, okay? Everyone's going to get a chance to put their hands in. But I need you to look at something else with me first, okay? So we saw sand, and we saw what sand looked like. But I remembered we talked in our book that, like, our plants, our garden, our vegetable garden wasn't growing in sand, was it? No, it was
dirt.
It was growing in soil, right? And it looks really dark and rich.
Are
and
there
look,
worms?
I have some. I don't have any worms in here, but we're going to look at the picture in the book about worms in just a minute. But this, how does this look?
Dirty.
Black.
It's really, really dark, right? That's because it has lots of nutrients in it. Yeah, there is some white stuff.
Like polka dots.
Yeah, there are some white stuff. And if I pick this up, do you think it's going to fall through my hands as easy?
No.
Look.
There's no smoke.
There's no smoke, and it's because it all clumps together because it's dark and it's wet and it's full of nutrients. This is a really good soil for growing things like flower gardens and vegetable gardens.
Can we grow flowers in there?
We're not going to grow flowers in our classroom.
I eat that.
No, it's not food. It isn't.
Ew.
It's only food for plants, not for us.
People
if we
don't
ate it,
eat dirt.
yeah, if we ate it, it would taste really, really, really icky. So I'm going to put my lid back on for now, but in a minute, everyone will get to touch the soil and the sand. I have some special for you to touch. But before we do that, I want to go back to our book because Gina mentioned something. What did you mention?
The worm.
The shovel.
The worms, right? They were using the shovel to dig up the dirt and they found the earthworms.
We grew worms last year.
You had worms in your classroom? You can't really grow them. They're animals like us.
Oh.
But they live in the soil, right? And this soil is like this soil.
It's not black.
That's brown.
Yeah, but remember, it's pretty dark, right? And the illustrator is showing us that it's really dark like this. This is really dark too. It's not like the sand, right? And the earthworms are in there because they help put nutrients. They help put that food in the soil for the plants.
They eat worms?
They don't eat worms.
Oh.
The worms help put the food in there for them. That's why they're really helpful to the
They're
plants.
helpers?
They are helpers, just like we're helpers in our classroom. Okay? And I want to show you one last thing about plants. I have a picture here.
Grass.
Oh, it's green.
It is. It's really green grass. And what do you notice about the soil?
It has yellow stuff.
It's kind of
has-
like the other stuff. It's kind of like
It's
not
kind of
sand.
like in the book or this dark soil. You're right. This is grass, and grass grows in the kind of soil that our vegetable garden did. Okay? And then I want to show you something really neat. I want to show you how plants get their food.
How'd you do that?
It looks like hair.
It does. It sort of looks like hair. These are the roots. Can everyone say roots? Roots. These are the roots of the plant. And when the plant grows up tall, the roots grow down into the
Their
soil
feet.
to get the food. You know, how do you eat? What do you use to eat?
A fork.
Your mouth and a fork, right? They use their roots underneath the soil to get their
They
food.
use their feet?
It's not really like their feet. That's where they eat.
Oh.
And if you look at this picture, you can see this is a plant growing. See,
It's a bean.
it is a bean plant, and it's a little seed down here, and then it gets a little bit bigger.
That's like
And
that's like the grown up.
It is. This is the grown-up version
That's
of
the
the
baby.
plant. So these are how our plants in our book grew up. Remember, at first she didn't see anything in the soil. Nothing was happening, and then she saw itty bitty little sprouts. Remember, they look like grass, and then she saw bigger and bigger
Where
plants.
are the beans?
This one hasn't grown up enough to have beans on it. It has to keep growing until it gets beans, or like in our book, until it gets vegetables. Okay? Thank you for talking about soil and plants
You
with me
said.
today.
You said. that
I
we got
did
to
say,
touch-
and now it's your turn. It's
Yay.
everybody's turn. So, two of my friends are going to go with Miss Alicia, and they can touch the soil or look at the pictures. And you guys get to stay with me, and I have some for you too. Okay? And when we're done, we're going to wash our hands and make a choice for center.